argument for promoting local bands. That was Letters to Burn by Rockin' for Decades. I recommend you keep an eye on them. Those few of you who don't know, my name's Cody Mike, and I'm your very own local purveyor of new music, old news, and good old Texan etiquette. Now, I must say, this heat seems to have brought out some strange wildlife around these parts. Wildlife of man and beast, strange folks, strange beasts. People seem to have lost their damn minds in the traffic, like they're sticky. Like there ain't enough room for no more than one car on the roads. I swear, one more out-of-towner honks his horn in my direction, I'll not be held accountable for my actions. Sometimes feels like you're rolling the dice with every man you meet these days. You know, they gonna be a decent God-fearing type or some modern-day liberal narcissist throwing the weight around. Hard to say. All I'll mention on the matter is that if you're some college sort, some artsy-fartsy Democrat, or some scientist trying to rewrite God's history, you'd best stay out of my way unless you want to test a bit of the old frontier justice. That's one of my pups again. You hear it scratching there at the door? One moment, I'll have another new track for you. Hello, fella. You know you're not allowed in here, don't you? What's that? You hungry? Thirsty? Well, let's see what we got to hand. Huh? Sure I'll have a nice little treat somewhere here for you. Something fresh.
The Apocalypse Players present Highway of Blood, a Call of Cthulhu scenario by Alex Guillotte, Ian Christiansen, and Davae Breon Jaxson. With Dan Wheeler as Quincy J. Lafitte, Dominic Allen as Edward Ed Mooney, Joseph Chance as Beverley Jack Carstairs, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Law. This is based on a true story. Part 9. The Tortoise and the Hare.
So, the two of you, well, Quincy, maybe you're still half distracted by this sort of pulled pork carcass of a man, blood still jetting from the hole where his neck was, and also the wild eyes of Seth on the roof, gleaming at you like something reptilian. But Ed, I think as you desperately try and get the Chevy moving again, perhaps you do start to notice Beverley's face sort of straining, grimacing, turning a deep scarlet, and his eyes roll and his body shudders, and he reaches for something.
Let's hope one of them kill him first, right, Dom?
I've lost a couple of hit points as well, so... No, actually only one.
Oh, okay.
Only one hit point down.
I'm doing remarkably well. Yeah, I'm doing all right as well. I think Joe's been taking the flak for us.
They're rolling very well. The pickup just keeps pace. The other truck is now bumper to bumper behind the pickup.
Oh my god!
But the pickup is it's just drifting because obviously the driver's dead, but it seems to still be moving.
Fuck! And that cunt's still on the roof, and he's now been wedged between the two.
Well, it's now his turn because he's not driving.
Oh, Christ.
Does Dom get to do his speed move before that? Because, I mean, if he does roll an extreme success, isn't there a chance that he pulls away?
Yes, he does. That's the way we've been playing it. So let's go with that. Although I'd say you're still too close to each other. You couldn't... Oh, dear.
It's getting
I'm
worse.
assuming that was just a regular drive roll. Yeah.
It was. That was a 98 on my 50. So the next one's a fumble.
Fucking hell, that is
You've been unlucky with those
right?
drives. You've been unlucky.
I learned how to drive in a French vehicle. Don't ask me why.
Is it 50
but I
or below?
cannot drive these Buicks.
49 or below. Is that a fumble?
No, 50's fine.
50's
50's fine, is it? Fucking
Yeah. So you just lose momentum. What momentum you did have. So you certainly aren't gaining any ground. At which point you do see this sort of ape-like figure of Seth. Basically, like, he's already glanced in the window and you see him from the roof swing in like a chimp or something, feet first through the window, and kicks the dead guy with such force that it opens the canyon side door of the pickup, and the body just tumbles out in this sort of pink spray of meat, and Seth settles himself behind the wheel. And for the first time, you seem to see a glint of something other than just deadness on his face, like maybe you've annoyed this guy.
Oh dear.
Which I'm sure is what your intention was.
Well, originally our intention was just to go in and buy something from the bookshop, and we managed to annoy everyone.
You'll never leave. Yes.
We didn't burn him.
At which we didn't burn him.
Blood Road?
Yes.
Not Red Road?
Oh, Edward. He wants to touch my points.
You might need to explain this. You might need to...
Sorry, yeah.
Some people might not
For
have
those
ever seen
listeners,
it.
just watch The League of Gentlemen and you'll understand everything.
Yeah, not
You'll understand.
Everything in life.
not the film adaptation of the graphic novel, the
No, not The Extraordinary.
Yeah, no. Yeah, good
Just The League of Gentlemen.
League of Gentlemen.
The very mediocre League of Gentlemen. But they're not, they're brilliant. So at this point, we move on to Quincy and Jack.
Luckily, Quincy moves first.
Luckily, Quincy moves first, and as I see this horrific monster swing into the cab, I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, looks like we're up after all." And I pull out of my bag a jar, and inside you see a spider, specifically a black widow spider. And I whisper to the jar, I say, "Godspeed," and I loosen the lid.
Damn straight.
I loosen the lid and hurl it through the now smashed windscreen of the car behind us. So I don't know whether you want a throw roll for that.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Animal mishandling.
You are moving, right? I mean, I hope you don't fumble.
Well, my throw is very bad, but I hope you know that I'm willing to spend all my luck and or push the roll.
And or die. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. That's a 63, and my throw is only a 20, so I'm going to push the roll. I think what happens is as I go to throw it, there's a bump in the road, and the jar, it spins up in the air, and I sort of do that weird juggly thing where you try and catch it, and then I end up batting it rather than throwing it. It's like boop, 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 poof, and I bat it with a hand.
Nice.
No, maniac! Of course.
Could I even suggest that, because that's no longer throwing, could you say that was like a hard dexterity roll? Because it's actually not throwing, is it, anymore?
It's batting. The second time's a bat, so you could push it with a different skill. How's your bat? How's your twat skill?
Do you see what I mean?
Cricket. Roll your cricket.
Yeah. Roll your...
Well, it's a bit late, isn't it? Because I've already rolled, so...
Yeah.
Depends how generous I'm feeling, I guess. I mean, how much...
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, if it's 42, if it's 41, then you should definitely do a hard dexterity roll. And if
It's not.
And if it isn't, then I don't think anything's going to save you, is it?
It's worse than my original roll. It's a 67.
Shit. Well, there we go.
In which case, there's probably not a skill you could shift to that would help anyway.
It's magical. That's what it is.
Fucking hell.
Great.
Well, unless I push it with my biology or my entomology.
I don't know.
Entomology.
Well, you know what happens, don't you?
Yeah.
As you loosen the lid and sort of go over this bump in the road, and it's sort of in slow motion, you see the lid, the whole thing sort of go up. You see the spider in free fall. You sort of zoom in as its legs sort of splay out, and it looks like an astronaut for a moment. And you go to smack it to try and redirect the throw, and it's like one of those, you know, the bottle cap trick that people do, where they do like a roundhouse kick to just spin off the top of a bottle of water.
Oh yeah.
Without disturbing the water itself. You do that by accident in midair, and as you bat it, the lid just spins off, and the jar itself tumbles down to the ground, and the spider is loose in your own car.
Luckily, black widows are really placid creatures, unless you rile them up by.
Sure, like by shaking them in a jar or like twatting them about. Yeah. So at least it's sort of not angry.
Swatting them about. Yeah.
Great. I love it. So now
maniac.
You've got a maniac
with a shotgun
and a lethal spell. I think this is going really well. What?
And Ed just trying to drive straight and being unable.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear.
And obviously that sight infuriates you even more. In your state of psychosis, Joseph, you see this guy twatting about jars full of spiders, and you're like, no, what do you do? What's your move?
Well, I think I see the I look at the dead body for that final moment, and I feel this intense rage rising.
Yeah.
And then I do see out of his mouth come these kind of pearly silvery eyes and this wide mouth, and they're just kind of, and this thing is one of those things, and I go, I've got to kill them all, and I look across and I see that the other two have already been taken, Lafitte and Mooney, and I crawl back in through the window, and I pump the shotgun, and I turn. No, I'm definitely not aiming. I just want to fucking shoot this fucking guy, and that's why, of course, he's releasing the spider. It's because he's in touch with the beetles. This one's a particularly beetly one.
Yeah.
And he's already moving like the ones that came out of the bar. And I remember they were all real, of course. They were all real, and they were all these beetly fucking silver-eyed shits.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot him.
And do we have
Actually, am I going to shoot him? I think it's very rational of me to shoot him. Maybe I just try and club him to death.
I mean, what's the description of the act of madness itself? Just irrational violence? Like, what? How does it word it?
Oh no, it was unfortunately a bit more specific than that.
You take aim like a marksman and blow the heads off as many people as possible.
Violence. A red mist descends on the investigator, and they explode.
Yeah, red mist.
In a spree of uncontrolled.
So it is uncontrolled
destruction.
Yeah.
So I think
directed.
My instinct would be
surroundings, allies or foes.
I don't think I squeeze the trigger off. I think I come in and I wail at him with this thing to smash his face off.
I think you're right. That's my instinct as well. It's a bit too tame to.
Yeah.
So you're trying to hit Lafitte with the butt of this, or swinging it.
I don't think it's even the butt, is it? It's just like it's barrel first.
The barrel, even, yeah.
Probably want the gun, honestly.
So Lafitte, are you trying to dodge? I mean, are you trying to fight back?
I think I just try and dodge.
Can't believe it, Dan. Rolled a 32 on my 33 brawl.
Well, suffice to say, I have failed my dodge.
Lovely. So you make contact.
Yeah.
So you smash him round the head with the barrel end of the shotgun, and I guess that would count as a club or something in terms of damage. So what's that generally? That's
at least D6. So D6 plus D4. Well, now we're talking, guys. Now we're talking. That is a 1 and a 2.
Oh.
Pull back.
It's a relief.
2 was on the D6, but 1 on the D4.
I'm alive. So that's 3 damage, is it?
3 damage. Which of course, Carstairs goes deeper into a range, foaming at the mouth now, furious that he contacted, but you goddamn cocksuckers!
Where did you get me?
I think I was aiming for the face, but of course it didn't. It was just sort of across the left shoulder.
Oh, I was wondering if maybe you did hit my face and you just broke my glasses.
So how much damage did you do?
3.
Only 3.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say you twatted his glasses off his head. Let's just say it.
Nice.
Luck. Do a luck. Quincy.
Me do luck, okay.
Yeah, to see if you turn in time not to have your glasses shatter.
I'm going to say if you knock my glasses off my face, I
Losing
will
my
take
shit.
penalty dies for my spot.
Yeah, it's pretty intense for...
Bit late as a warning, but good to know.
I failed my luck by 2 points. My glasses are gone.
So yeah, you've aimed at Quincy's head, but it doesn't fully connect. Sort of swipes down across his face, smashing his temple, eviscerates his glasses, and it just connects. It connects fully with his shoulder bone, like crunches into the clavicle, as they say, and he takes the full impact through his chest, even as his face starts pissing blood.
And Ed, I'll say that
A lot happened this turn. This is a dramatic turn.
even in this chaos, you're aware that you're 3 turns away from the sharp bend
Okay.
in the road. So the pickup, now that Seth is in charge, that was a 16, so he's basically touching bumpers with you.
Pervert.
It's that classic shot that we
But
pull
he's-
away.
Yeah,
it
I shouldn't have
pulls
even
back
made
up.
him. That's my stupid fault. I wanted to make him do something else, but I made him roll drive, so he can't do anything else this turn. You're lucky.
He's building.
I made
He's building
big
momentum.
mistake. But the other cars did get closer, and you're 3 turns away from the end. So we're back on Ed. Are you trying to speed away again? Sorry, I know you're sort of trapped in the driver's seat trying to do anything, but you're a bit too close for most of the manoeuvres, unfortunately.
We've got to try and make some distance ready for this turn, I think.
Yeah.
And the turn's about...
'Cause otherwise they might just shunt you off it. I mean,
Yeah. The turn's about 3 turns away.
yeah, 3.
That's an 84 on my 50.
God, it's so consistently distressing.
Terrible.
Highway of blood.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys, I've had the
Bloody
handbrake on this whole time.
Blood.
Quincy.
Quincy.
Jack, what the hell are you doing? He's gone mad. Mooney. Jack's lost his fucking mind back here. I feel like I've lost my mind. I've completely forgotten how to drive this damn. Where's
I'm looking.
where's my Black Widow, my spider? What?
Yeah, so you fail your drive roll because you suddenly hear that and just flail about like a twat. Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do on my turn is try to get the spider back in the jar, because if I don't, I might kill one of us.
Unfortunately, wait, did your glasses get damaged?
Yeah.
I mean, for a small black spider in a car full of this much chaos, I'd say that's got to be an extreme. I mean, that's basically got to be a critical success to...
Extreme entomology roll.
No, don't be mental.
Well, I'm trying to get
Spider
a spider in a
wrangling.
jar. What else would it be?
But you don't know where it is, so you've got to find it first, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, they're small. It's not like a tarantula.
Did literally just say the thing about the spot hidden. I mean, I know I want to help you. Like, the entomology would be the bonus to get it back into a thing, right?
I mean, I guess neither of you guys have arachnophobia, but you're certainly maybe Ed's panicked because he's not in a fit of madness that there's a spider loose in the car. If you want to do a spot hidden, I'll just say it's got to be an extreme success,
Well, wait.
especially now your glasses have been smashed.
So what I said was that if my glasses get smashed, maybe I'll have a penalty on my spot hidden.
Sure, but I'm saying you need to have a really hard, good success anyway to find a tiny little black spider in a car full of maniacs trying to kill you. So I feel I'm not being unreasonable in saying I'd need an extreme success.
Extreme success with a penalty die.
This time, at least while Joseph's still attacking you. Assuming that's what he's doing.
It's not Joseph who's doing the attacking. Just remember that, guys. Even though obviously I do feel sometimes like I'd like to attack you.
I did throw you under the bus a bit there. That's not what
Hey, is there a bus? Is there a bus?
This seems deeply unreasonable. When you listen back to it, you'll be like, Christ, that was unreasonable. But
do you know what? I won't.
Wait, Dan, couldn't you argue?
No.
There's an entomology bonus die because you know what you're looking for.
Have you trained the spider to respond to your voice?
Of course I have.
But any points in animal handling? Animal handling.
No, I haven't. Okay, no. You make a good point. Okay, I'm rolling.
You've gone as far as throwing it out of a jar into a car, so I don't think...
I'm rolling spot hidden with a penalty die.
Okay.
I didn't even need the penalty die. That is a that was a fail. That's just a regular. That's a fail. Even
sure.
I would even have failed my entomology with that roll.
Oh dear.
Well, I wish I'd seen nicer and let you do that then.
Yeah.
But either way,
everyone's going to know you're a cunt.
Yes, that's what I want. So you that's your turn, I'm afraid, as you sort of panic about where this thing is going. Because to be fair,
where are you?
It makes sense.
Christ,
you know, a bite from a black widow can do some fucking bad things. However, it is now as you sort of panically, you know, your glasses are sort of shattered on your face and you don't know why you're being attacked, and you're sort of trying to probably get his arms away from you and look on the floor. The spider! Ed's panicking, flailing. The spider! And Jack, you still have one round left of blood-filled rage.
And of course, you know, I see him going down to seek reinforcements from his... I just hear these sort of vague phrases like, come to meet Spider and my spider, and I'm just going like, he's summoning the spider. So I've got to fucking brain him while he's down there. It's perfect. So I'll just smack skull, smash brain pan across the window if I can.
This could kill me.
Yeah. That's the aim.
Let's roll for damage. Do you get to try and dodge? I mean, maybe technically I should have put you in combat so you couldn't have looked for the spider anyway, but that's it.
Well, he tried to break from... Or maybe he tried to break from combat.
Yeah.
Still my move in combat.
That is a 68 on my 33 ball.
Oh, great. So unless I fumble, which I haven't...
You did manage to avoid getting battered, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So as you were sort of searching on the floor, I guess your head went out of the line of Jack's. And I think Jack, maybe as you bring the shotgun down and it misses, it sort of hits the door and you get this shock up your arm, and that sort of, you know, snaps you back suddenly into, wait, what the fuck was I doing, you know? And you were all aware that you're now about 2 cars' lengths going at some speed, not a huge amount of speed, towards this really sharp turn off to the left. So I'm just going to roll for the cars in pursuit.
God.
I'm not sure at the speed we're now going a stunt is necessary.
It's not, but the others can't really get past because of the road being so narrow anyway, so... right, so I'm not going to roll drive, as I did last time by mistake for Seth. Instead... he does what he was obviously signalling to the other guy to do, and he fires the harpoon into the back of your car. And you see this flash of metal, and you hear this. Okay, 2 seconds. Let's just see what you hear.
Harpoon is just a scary name for a weapon as well,
isn't it?
Yeah, and you see this like hook thing just. It goes, you feel it thud into the back of your car, and it actually speeds you up slightly, if anything. It's like but you hear the sound of like metal wrenching.
Like crank.
There's a spool of like wire behind it.
Anthony Flinders comes tumbling out of the boot.
Oh no, not him.
Where am I? And then he gets murdered again.
Yeah.
Except now he's like in his 70s or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So now, Ed, you're 2 lengths away from before you'd need to make a sort of sharp turn, or... Yeah, I'd say you could probably just do a normal drive roll to get around it at this point, because you're not going particularly fast still, because you keep failing your moves. But you're going at about like 20 miles an hour with this truck behind you that's now attached itself.
We could get out and walk.
Harpoon. Maybe 30. You were going far faster before that, but ever since you crashed, basically, you've just been...
It's hard to drive at 20 in London where there's It is a 20 zone.
Yeah, feels insanely slow, doesn't it?
And yet, do you want to try and make up some distance, or do you want to try anything else?
So if in this turn, if I pick up some speed, next turn is sort of the last turn for me to do the skidding.
To prep for the manoeuvre, yeah.
All right, well, let's at least try and get above 20 miles.
Come on, we can do this.
Yeah. Let's give it a dynamic ending, if it is the ending, or at least a dynamic escape if you manage to do something else.
Ending. Hey, now we're talking. 47, a narrow regular success.
Great. And I don't mean to, burst your bubble, but I mean, that just means you maintain your normal movement.
We haven't kept slowing down.
20 miles an hour, baby.
I will say that your previous mistakes or accidents dictated this slowness, so I will say that you're still building up speed, so you go up to about 35 on this turn. Because your normal speed was about 60. Or 60 or 70, you know.
I hope nobody suffers from travel sickness.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you hear Ed talking about travel sickness, Quincy, you've just seen this shotgun come down and come into the door beside you, and you see Jack sort of seeming confused, but I guess it's fair to say he doesn't look like he's going for you anymore.
Jesus, Carstairs, what the hell's going on there?
I thought it's black. The grey things, their mouths
you're
aren't
looking
right.
for the spider. I don't know. Don't worry. She'll be gentle. She's not aggressive.
I don't want a spider. I don't want anything. What the hell is going on? What the fuck
the
is
spider?
What the fuck
Don't
is
worry.
that?
I'll get her back in the jar. Now where is she?
There's a harpoon in the vehicle. What?
You deal with that. I'll get the spider. And I have another look for the spider.
Fucking hell.
What else to do? It's going to kill me if I don't find it.
Good pet.
So another spot hidden with a penalty, I guess.
Might kill me.
Yeah.
This is when you see that it's on my forehead.
No,
Yeah.
that's no good.
Hit me in the face.
I feel like in a minute I might have to start doing group luck rolls for where the spider is.
Yeah.
But
Maybe the spider needs a dex score.
but on the next turn
Very
that'll
high,
begin. I
actually,
think it's in my head. I think it's just coming out of its shock now, out of its bout of madness. It's going to start crawling about. Jack, what's your turn in this moment of Quincy? Sort of, what the hell are you doing? And all this. How do you respond?
I think. Although I want to do something about the harpoon, I'm just looking at this harpoon, and I look back at Quincy and I go, sure, I'll do something about the harpoon, and I look up at the shotgun, and I see that I sort of see that it's kind of still in my hand, and I just drop it, and I kind of slump against the door, and I go, oh, what? I didn't really mean to kill him. I just wanted to. Can't we get off? Can't we get off the ride? This is totally fucked up, guys. What the hell is happening to us here? What the fuck are these things? They're fucking things outside the car, man. They've got silver eyes, and they're not normal. They're not.
You've seen them too.
Yeah, you seen one? Holy shit.
Thought I saw something. My God, I was traveling so fast I must have been doing 30, 40 miles an hour.
I shot one. What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing?
No, that was before you slowed down. You were getting at 70.
And I say, what the fuck is he doing? And I go towards the window again and lean out to look at, and I think I just try and see
what's going on.
What metalhead Frankenbone is up to.
Metalhead.
Yeah. So I'll let you, as that's your move, I'll let you say, I'll say that you see him with his hand on a sort of it looks like a winch lever thing, and he's just staring forward very sort of blankly, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the winch lever, but doesn't seem to be slowing at all. And as we reach what seems to be a critical moment before we have the potential for something really catastrophic to happen. The penultimate length before this very sharp, as you now all see it, left-hand turn with not very much manoeuvring space. It's like one of those roads in India where you see the buses going up the sides of mountains and their wheels are like slightly over the edge as well. So it's like a real precision moment, unless you slow to a standstill. You can now see, and I'm just going to. Well, they're fucked then. Well, they're not fucked, but they're not going to catch you. They might. Yeah, okay. And Seth is not doing anything. He's just keeping pace with you. So it's back to you in the car. This is your last moment to try and pull ahead by one space before your manoeuvre, or to slow right down and just make sure you go around the bend safely. It's your call.
So it's on the next turn that we're doing the bend.
Yeah. But so my advice would be, if you decide to do, like, you're getting back up to normal speed, so you're going about 40 now, let's say. You could use this turn to pull ahead once more, or attempt to, and then do a manoeuvre on the next turn. Or you could slow down, and it depends how safely you want to play it.
I've had an idea.
Yeah.
But it will require a brief meta discussion.
Oh, go! I love it. This is as time slows down, and the spider that you're looking for flies past your field of vision. You just see it refracted in one of the broken lenses of your glasses. It suddenly enlarges, and you don't have time, and it's gone again into the darkness. And you see Seth's face and his weird orange eyes, which is like that, like in a kaleidoscope, and Ed's sort of like, oh, can I do it? Beads of sweat travelling down his face. The cliff's coming up. The harpoon's stuck in the back. And Jack says, guys, can we have a quick discuss as things...
Conversation, can we have a quick chat?
But it is in that moment, as things slow down, you suddenly realise you're telepathic and you all talk to each other very briefly. And I love it. I just wanted to put in that. Go.
I'm sure it's occurred to you both. But obviously we're at a speed where it's still possible to get out of the car without completely killing ourselves. And now they're attached to it. If you just stuck the classic
brick on the...
whatever it is, use my land surveying tripod for the... to whatever it would be, to stick the gas down, and we all get out, that could possibly pull him over, right?
Maybe.
Or certainly...
fucking love it.
Or certainly create a problem. Because I feel like I fancy our chances with the other guys in the other car with 2 shotguns, and also we'd be away from the spider. But I mean, obviously it's desperate talk. It's desperate talk, because we'd be outside of the car. And obviously
I love it. It's the only thing that makes sense. Because, like, when we're attached, this car behind, I was thinking, oh, well, what we could do is we could kick up some dust to handicap the car behind us, and then, try and drift around the corner to get an accelerated movement. But they're attached.
And he's a nightmare, right? I don't know if we can even particularly damage him.
And we're attached. Your suggestion, for me, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I love it.
Because I'm just thinking we're all scientists, right? Well, not so much Ed, actually, and you are driving, so you might fancy your chances. But also, you have the experience of the...
Well, maybe he could carry on driving.
I mean, your instinct was probably to speed up. What was your instinct, Tom? Were you going to speed up?
Yeah.
And hit the bend? Because I think that still works for us.
No, I think we should do this.
Because we only maintain speed, we're at 35.
I think your idea...
I think we've got a chance here.
I mean, I'm happy with anything, but I think what you've just suggested makes more sense to me than anything else.
Yeah.
I think with a harpoon attached to our car, I feel we can no longer get away, even if we immobilised him. The driver.
Lucky shot on the winch box. I mean, it's all so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, how?
Yeah. Like, worst case scenario, we end up in the same situation we're in anyway.
Just not in the moving
Yeah.
Which is probably better, because then we've got more of a chance, because it's 3 against 1.
Hey, I'm back, baby. What are you talking about?
But the problem is that there's fucking things outside, and we have just talked about that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, God. So we might not have very long outside.
The things haven't necessarily shown aggression towards you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you did shoot one of them, but other than that...
Still, there's a new message I missed.
It could just be cats. Cat's eyes removed, the famous roads.
I just read Dan's message from ages ago, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's going that way, Dan, but I'm not too sure. For the listeners, we should probably mention that you've just said to me...
Yes.
Well, is this our first total party kill? I mean, it just really feels that way. Anyway...
Nothing is written.
Perhaps what I do is I scream weirdly out of the end of that kind of fugue state that I sort of deliberately chose to do.
As the slow motion flying spider glasses and wobble finishes.
Maybe we just ditch the car, Ed.
Pass me that tripod.
Wait, what?
I will ready the tripod for my action, but I am slower than Quincy Lafitte, and I don't know what Ed Mooney's doing in relation to his speeds.
I totally missed that part of the plan, so I'm very enthralled as to what might happen next.
Why don't
I'd actually forgotten you had the tripod.
I'll say.
I know you did.
I got my butterfly net.
Is that going to work?
No, probably not.
I like the idea.
We'll see about that.
You see Seth in the back window just going,
I'm going to try and pick up as much speed as I can. That's my action.
You're going to roll for that, I imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
And then wait, so are we going to be able to do everything we want to do?
If you go that fast.
On our next
This is the round where you have the choice to speed up. It's the next one where you turn. So the next one is either a manoeuvre, a turn, or going off the edge of a cliff. This is the one where you can pick up speed for what the next action is.
Yeah, but I mean, are we
if
gonna,
that makes sense.
Are we going to be, I don't know whether Dan has heard all of our plan, but are you going to be able to position the tripod and physically do what you need to do on the next
I didn't hear this bit.
I think do the tripod on this turn.
I think you need to do the tripod on this turn. Yeah.
Either way, we're not going to be going any faster. I can tell you that.
Okay, we're not going... Good.
There's something wrong with the clutch on this thing.
So I guess you need to do a drive roll anyway to see whether you keep going at that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the point.
Well, I said that your main speed you'd been going before you had the 2 accidents and the 1 complete fumble spin out was like 60, 70. And last turn you were on about 35, 40.
Yeah.
So unless you want to deliberately stop, I'll say you've increased another 5-10 miles to like 50, 55.
No, we don't want.
I'll say you can have done that.
No, we don't want to go that fast.
Oh, you want to
I
stay
think
at
we're going about 30.
40.
Yeah.
35.
And then
let's
we went
say.
up.
We want to go as fast as possible, but what you want to do, Dom, is something.
Oh, there's multiple things going on.
We want to go at a speed that is too fast for him to react quickly to,
but not so fast that we die.
It'll kill us when we jump out the car.
Yeah.
So 40 is probably good.
Oh, fuck.
It'll hurt.
It's just tripod.
It'll hurt.
It will hurt. So,
but it won't kill us.
Engage the tripod. Engage the tripod.
What are you doing though, Lafitte? Because you are quicker than me technically.
Well,
as we've gone up 5 miles an hour, but in the context of the chase, that's not really anything other than.
I mean, what can I usefully do? I mean, I could pass him your tripod.
You could pass me the tripod, and then I could put the tripod onto the accelerator.
Okay.
And then it's done.
Okay. Cool.
Good thinking. Good.
Here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get it. Yeah.
Take this.
I've got it. And I climb over.
My legs aside so you can get in there.
And I
ready at the door.
This was given to me by my uncle as a gift when I first got the job in my 20s back in the days. And I shove it in. I ram it. And I bend one of the legs as it's happening, but it is metal, you know. And I get it. And I bend one of the legs to do it, but I ram it against the gas pedal, so right down by Mooney's leg.
In my leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And then, once you've done that, I pull up part of the tripod through the spokes of the steering wheel so that it can't turn.
Perfect. Oh, it's so good.
Ah, it's beautiful.
So it's jammed in, keeping the car going dead forwards towards this cliff.
So it's not going to wobble off.
I scoop
easily.
I scoop up both shotguns under one arm and get my hand on the door handle in the back. I'm in the back. I guess you two are in the front.
And just as you touch the door handle, the spider comes out from underneath it, bites you. Don't give me ideas.
He's already got them.
Well, I did say on the next turn I was going to do a luck roll for the spider.
Yeah, true.
So, in that moment, is it group luck roll?
Shit,
to see
yeah.
if the
Shit,
spider's
yeah.
ended up anywhere inconvenient? It won't be
Yes.
biting necessarily, but just to see where it's got to, if
Back
it's
of the
convenient.
back
or
of the
not.
driver's seat, on the floor, down by the
I think Joseph's now lowest luck, right?
27.
Probably.
That's why I shouldn't have spent the luck, right? 27 group luck roll.
Here we go.
16.
Wow. Sick. So, no sign of the spider.
Oh.
So, now we move into the final round on the bend, as 'twere.
Yeah.
So, first roll is for the burnt truck, which is still a considerable way behind. They're staying the same speed.
Oh, this could go horribly wrong.
Car behind the pickup
This could be death.
stays where it is. Actually, it slows down a point. And the pickup doesn't move. But what does happen is you suddenly see the pickup with Seth in it brake hard.
Oh, shit, yeah, of course.
And you just see this cloud of dust. But you also see the spool just unravelling. So it's letting your car go. It has just arrested its own movement in this moment.
Okay.
Back to you.
For me, that doesn't change anything about our plan.
And you go first.
Great.
And I open the door and leap out of the car, holding 2 shotguns.
And instantly blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
Hugging them to your chest.
Jump out the car and roll. I don't know. Do you want a jump roll or a deck?
I don't know. What's the most reasonable thing here? You're going. Let's say you were going 35 miles an hour. Are you all jumping at the same time, or are you doing it one by one? And you're all doing it in this round, so I guess it's
It's now
more a
it's
narrative
now or
question.
never.
I think it's pretty simultaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you
So,
have the edge. so you go
Quincy,
first.
do you want to describe how you all leap from the car? I'm assuming you're all leaping inland rather than canyon
Oh,
side.
yeah, well, I never discussed that with them, so...
Well, unless they're utterly insane, which luckily you're not currently.
Well, I don't know how close we are to the edge, but
Well, I said it was a pretty narrow road, like one of those cliffside roads in like India or somewhere. So
and is the
on this
canyon on
bend
the
it's
driver's?
narrower.
Is the canyon on the driver's side or the offside?
No, because we're in America, right? So it's on the right-hand side.
Left-hand drive.
So it's easy for. So great. Okay. So Mooney.
So Ed's the right side anyway, which is lucky actually. Yeah.
Side. So and then Jack, I guess, can follow.
I'm going out with Ed, it turns out.
Yeah,
that wasn't
fine. So I
originally
guess
my
we all
plan,
go
but
out.
we ran out of time.
Yeah. So I guess we all go out non-canyon side. So I will roll first on my jump, which is not good.
Right.
And yet, I have rolled a hard success on my jump.
Yes!
Oh, lovely. Lovely stuff.
Wow.
10 on my 20.
Great. How do the other two
I've got
do?
5 points in jump. With my 70 dexterity, I think I'm going next. Is that right? Mooney,
You never know though,
Mooney,
right?
are you...
So 5 points in jump means 25 in total.
Yeah.
My dex is 80.
Whoa, he's faster than me as well. We are the fastest team we've ever been. I take it back. So sorry, Mooney. I
Now
had a
he's
funny
out from
feeling
behind the wheel.
actually,
Here we go.
yeah. I'm last to go.
Been so bad at driving rolls.
This is going to stand us in good stead when we on our feet.
It's a fail. It's 42 on a 20.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Too much.
So
This will just hurt. This will just hurt.
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
respectful though. It's respectful.
I've got plenty of hit points.
yeah. So I guess falling damage would be the way to go, right? I guess the momentum would be the same because you're on a level playing field. You're not falling from a height, but the velocity basically counteracts that. I'm also looking at like the rules for leaping car to car, which I know this isn't what you're doing, but a failure means hitting the ground and suffering 1d4 hit points per 10 miles per hour. So I think we're thinking like the 1d4 per 10 miles per hour. So if we do 3d4,
Yeah. But,
it is a lot, I
Good
know.
luck, everyone.
well, but are we saying
But
that
you succeeded in your jump.
I succeeded in my jump. I probably should still take some damage, I guess, but...
Do you mind rolling as well, and then we'll describe
Yeah.
your
So
leaping?
we can work out what the damage is after. Should we do that?
Yeah, if that's all right.
He was so fast.
Because you said it was a sort of simultaneous thing-ish.
Oh my god, it's 17.
Great. So we have 2 successes and a fail.
Yeah.
That's some seriously unlucky rolling for you.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, let's say, Dom,
roll
it
low on
is
damage.
3d4. For the other 2, because it's more awkward for Mooney because he's the driver. He's the last one to leave the car, really, because he's still got to manoeuvre his legs around the tripod from where his feet were on the pedals. Yeah. It's just a bit more.
He was doing the last adjustment.
It's the captain leaving the ship, right?
Yeah.
He's on the verge of going down with it. So in an act of bravery, he stays slightly longer. So we see Quincy and Jack both launch themselves, and they sort of tuck and roll.
I curl up like a woodlouse.
Curls up like a
Wrapping
Billy
myself
Baker.
around these shotguns like a little, like what do they call it? Like a
Billy
bug.
Baker.
A Billy Baker. I curl up and roll like a little wood-loud Billy Baker.
Yeah.
Do we take any damage at all? Or
Jack does similarly, and Ed flings himself, but lands far less gracefully and closer to the sort of the rocks.
It's much worse than that.
Oh.
I think I land on my head.
Oh no!
You see my body kind of jackknife in on the floor. You hear this horrible, sickening crunch, and
He's scorpion.
I roll for ages, just bouncing, not just rolling along my side, but bouncing head, completely arse over tit. You hear the crunch and crack of bones as I roll along. I probably hit a rock on the side of the road and sprawl. See how not necessarily dead.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I've succeeded on my constitution roll, so I am conscious. I've got 1 hit point left. Oh my god!
Great.
I've lost 8 hit points in that escapade.
Ow. So for the listeners, 3 bodies leap from this car at the edge of a cliff. 2 of them sort of do this almost miraculous sort of Jason Statham-esque tuck and roll, but the other guy catches his ankle at the last minute as he's heroically leaving the driver's seat.
Probably on the tripod.
On the tripod, and as you just described, does this spectacular gymnastics routine in which he breaks every bone in his body multiple times. The other 2 of you, because we're at speed, I'm thinking a success means half damage. So
Got 2.
what did you both lose?
I lost 4.
2 for Jack, 4 for Quincy. So Quincy, you land slightly worse. I think one of the shotguns, the butt probably actually clips your chin as you sort of tuck them and try to stop them firing, and you just bundle across, you roll across. Jack, you sort of control it pretty well. You know, you remember being tackled back in the day. You know, you're good at being, launched across a football field.
Yeah. And launching myself, because that was the job, right? It was,
You mainly you're an old linebacker, but you mainly take damage from your age compared to when you used to do that sort of shit.
And I hear Carrington Carstairs' voice saying, that's a good duck and roll, son.
And as you're doing it, you feel kind of cool, and you sort of feel it's like Guys and Dolls music, this doom, doom. But then you realise it's not clicking, it's like the popping of tendons and bones as Mooney just cartwheels between the 2 of you.
Screaming agony.
And sort of rests like an upside-down scorpion.
This was a great idea, guys.
I mean, I think it's a bad way. I'm only on 3 hit points.
I'm on 1. Have you lost more than half?
Not in one go.
Well, I have.
Yeah, that was brutal for you.
Well, I'm currently sprawled on a boulder, and then you realise I must still be conscious because you just hear this.
As you hear that, you also hear from the other side a squealing of brakes, and you realise that what Seth obviously wasn't expecting you all to just jump out of the car and go over the ravine to leave the vehicle to. His plan was to give you some leash and then clamp it on as you turn and try and arrest your momentum. So what ends up happening is he brakes, gives you the lead, you all jump out of the car, it gets to the edge, and he clamps it on, and it just pulls him forwards in the truck a whole length of the vehicle till your car is hanging from the cable off the edge of the cliff, and he's sort of there braking in the front seat.
Fuck. Sure, it put him off the edge.
Probably not, but at least it means that the harpoon...
He braked a turn before you did your manoeuvre,
it hasn't quite worked, but
I did the maths, but he's stuck there in the car. You realise you hear shouting from behind, and you hear like footsteps, so you're sure people are on their way to assist him in the car that was just behind the truck. But meanwhile, you're there on the floor. I don't think you're doing much, Ed.
Can you help Ed?
Mooney,
Go help him. Throw me that skeet gun.
right
Throw it
there.
to me now.
can't feel anything in my body.
I do. I slide the shotgun over to Jack, and I start crawling towards Mooney to see if I can do some first aid on him.
First aid?
Well,
I mean, you two can still stand. You're like fucking in a lot of pain, but like you don't have any injury that's sort of like arresting your momentum. I don't think it's like hard to. It's painful to breathe, and you're quite winded and quite dazed. But you could just like
limping.
I am on 3 hit points out of 10, so I think I'm probably quite badly hurt.
Yeah, maybe it's the adrenaline that's making you feel that you're not.
But so I sort of like limp or crawl over to Mooney, and if it's possible to do a first aid.
Quincy. Quincy, you gotta help me. All I can feel is my eyeball.
Tell me where it hurts, I say, looking at him thinking...
I'm trying not to think about it. It's all over my whole body.
It hurts everywhere, I can imagine.
And then I just start screaming again.
Can I do some first aid on him?
Please try, yeah. I'll let you know is in the background you hear another engine sort of stop, and you hear mechanical sort of clanking, but you don't see anyone else yet.
Oh, God.
I'd say you've rolled like, should we say like 10, 15 metres away?
Fine. I have succeeded on my first aid roll.
Yes. Good.
Hey.
This is what helps.
So what does that get me? A hit point?
A hit point, I think.
Fucking hell.
Oh, I should do a luck roll for the spider.
It's double what I was on.
See if she's...
See if she's still in the back of the car, hanging over the cliff.
So you're giving first aid to Ed. Ed's not really in a position to be doing anything unless you... Did you need to roll Constitution, did you say?
I did it, and I succeeded, which I'm still conscious.
Okay, good. You felt a wave of like the potential blackout, but it was just a grey out. And then, unfortunately, you're still awake.
Yeah, horrible.
Jack is there.
Conscious.
I know. That would be the merciful thing to do. Is there anything you'd like to attempt or sort of talk about in this moment?
Pickup truck.
Yeah.
Is that like just a standard? Is it like a Chevy or is it a?
I can let you know.
A unique, unusual model.
It's modded. Let's say.
Okay, great. Yeah. And how far would you say I am from it now?
I'll say like 15 meters if I'm being generous. Like you're around the bend. You threw yourselves out the right side, so where the road has turned, you've basically all rolled or bounced down that length of road.
I suppose in a split second, can I tell if anyone's running across towards us or driving across towards us?
No. At this moment, you can hear engines around the corner. You can see the pickup truck basically on the edge of the cliff and see like
I'd like
the cable.
I'd like to
down.
dash, throw myself to the floor, and try and shoot the engine of the pickup truck.
Great.
Nice.
Do so.
It may well be modded and protected, and that is going to hurt if it is. But
I'm going to make sure I've got all of the stats up just so I can...
So it's obviously going to have to be a called shot, isn't it? So actually, I'd rather try and get it right, so I'm going to risk it. Actually, I'm just going to get into position to do that and try and aim.
Get into position and aim. There's no one coming at you right now, so you've certainly got time to do that.
And it is, of course, going to have to be on the left side, which is driver's side, so he could easily get out, and that's a nightmare, but let's just face that horror.
It's a bit of a monster, this thing, I'll let you know that.
I could tell. Yeah,
but it's taken some damage. It's taken some damage already. Like the windscreen's gone and various other things.
Well, I'm not going to be doing much, am I?
You've got 2 hit points right now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's only 1 less than me.
You keep saying that. But I lost them all in one go.
But I mean, obviously, it is awful. That's a major wound, right?
Yeah. The most major of wounds before death.
Yeah. But I mean, it's you're the bloody mess. But I reckon we could sit you up with a shotgun, right? Up against a rock, Western style, which I think is exactly the kind of thing we should suggest you do.
Yeah.
You've only got... Oh, shit, I've got the other 2 shells. Shit.
And when I blink, you pull the trigger. Because I don't think my fingers work.
What we need, ideally, we want some dynamite. put all the dynamite behind Mooney, wire it up, and like retreat.
He just pulls open his waistcoat.
Yeah,
I just flop forward onto the plunger.
Yeah. So what you do see,
that we used to blow up.
as you've succeeded in your first aid, Mooney, you're just screaming agony. Jack, you've levelled yourself on the floor and you're taking aim at the engine block of this truck. You see a figure appear from around the corner. They're not heading towards you yet. I say yet because it's pretty obvious they might at some point, but they're coming with a tow clip which they clip onto the back bumper of the pickup truck, Seth's pickup truck that he's
Shit, they're that close.
And,
okay, and there's that much raised
they
between
were
us that we didn't see them in that. Okay, right. I get you.
Well, it's just the corner's so sharp that they're still parked around the corner, but they're quite close behind, basically. So this guy's pulled over a cable and just attached it to the bumper and then goes back around the corner. And you see it sort of tauten and you hear the engines going. And you see Seth in his sort of seat shouting back. And I think you're still too sort of dazed to really hear what he's saying. But you sort of see the motion of him shouting back and you see them sort of adding a bit of manpower to, I guess, stop him being pulled off the cliff with your car.
Yeah.
And I'll say that's that moment. And if you guys want to do anything while this other guy's disappeared back around the corner and the tow's being pulled.
I think now I've done a bit of first aid on Mooney, I maybe want to kind of drag him and myself into some cover behind like a boulder or a bush.
There's definitely a few boulders about. Less scrub that would hide you, but certainly a couple of decent boulders within a few feet of where you are.
Perfect, exactly. While they're occupied, the monsters chasing us, while they're occupied, like doing a bit of
deplorables,
automotive engineering or whatever. I want to drag us behind a boulder so we've at least got some cover and we can kind of regroup.
Yeah.
As you're dragging me, I say,
Man, I wish we'd brought a dog. I wish we'd brought a dog. I can't. I'm gonna be sick.
Well, join the club.
But you're basically coughing up blood, and I guess Quincy, you're trying to keep him straight enough to refrain from doing any more spinal injury that might have already been done. You know, the last thing you want is for him to just suddenly go and limp in your arms as you drag him around the corner. Meanwhile, Jack, you have a chance to fire off your shot, and you've got aim, so you've got a bonus die. There's no penalties because you're not moving anymore.
So I'm thinking if
is that still what you'd like to do?
If they're that physically close to me, obviously if I fire, they'll be sort of 20 odd meters away from me to just run and get me, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they probably know where you are anyway.
The explosion will happen. Or at least something.
Fingers crossed. If it's like GTA San Andreas, all you need to do is hit the end.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah. Cool.
So 42 with the...
It has lost some build
42
already.
with the bonus. The bonus is particularly good. So 009, which is a success.
Is it you? It's 1 point of luck would make it an extreme
I think
success.
it has to be that, even though I am low on luck. I think that's what I was just trying to do the maths. Thank you, Dan.
You've got an extreme success, basically.
So that's
yeah. So what happens is you shoot, and it's sort of like the shot. It stays together enough at this distance. It sort of seems to ricochet under the sort of like the wheel arch, and sort of up underneath a bit. Like half of it seems to. They do have a lot of armor, but had lost a couple of points. So it doesn't quite explode, but basically flames instantly appear under the car and in the engine block, and you see like sputtering, spitting petrol, and it looks like actually you've caused a chain reaction which might well blow it up.
But sadly,
in a moment.
Sadly, they are armored, which is what I was fearing all along. But it's worth a shot. Yeah. So,
but you do see that the flames very quickly engulf the seats which Seth is still in.
Oh, effective.
And you see him sort of flailing and hitting around and sort of trying to like claw his way to the passenger window as you hear like shouts occurring behind you. And you do see...
I'll run back to the others. Or where at least to where...
Okay, great. So you run to take cover. So I think you see... Well, you can probably sense they haven't gone far. So you run back to sort of where they were, and Quincy's managed to drag Mooney, just behind this boulder. And you see, as you turn around, as you take cover, you see two more people come round, and Seth sort of drag himself, this huge flaming shape, out onto the ground and start like rolling and almost like punching the ground. And meanwhile, the other two are sort of, you hear one of them going, "Cut the cable! Cut the fucking cable!" And the other one going, "What? Which one? Which one? The one at the front? The one at the back?" It's like, "I don't fucking care! Just cut a fucking cable!" And you see one of them starts to like try and detach the cable from the back. The other one, not Seth, the other one of the other two, sort of turns and starts like raises a gun and starts coming down the outcrop of road towards you. Starts shouting, "Hey! Hey!" And you can do what you like. You can stay hiding, or you can...
Ooh.
What I'll say is his gun, again, doesn't look like a shotgun. It looks like another version of the sort of... the one that Seth had earlier.
Blunderbuss.
The blunderbuss.
It contains the silver skins, doesn't it? And that's what they put in you. That's what they fire into your face. And then,
it's the opposite of the alien chest burst.
And then you become...
It fires one into...
Become one of their weird cho-cho derivative creatures.
Something like that.
I'm gonna try and throw these 2 shotgun shells that I improvised over to Mooney from behind. I'm sort of imagining I'm behind one rock and they're behind another.
Yeah, that's how I'm imagining as well.
And I
sort of linear, like
these.
who's in front, or are they?
I think I'm closer to the fray, and these two have got a little bit further away. And I don't think I knew where they were
that makes
until
sense.
Did Lafitte hiss at me as I was looking around? Where the fuck are they? I don't know.
I think you probably saw us scuttling.
Oh yeah, that's what he said, isn't it?
Because
Yeah.
You toss them to me, and I go to raise my arm and discover that doesn't work. They just hit me in the face and roll down my chest.
God. Shit, sorry, man. Sorry. I didn't...
But Quincy sees that, of course. He's in a position to maybe pick them.
I think I catch them and load the...
and I start... Because I'm down to 2 now, I think, by my maths. So I load out of the slightly ragged... bandolero? Not bandana. Bandolina.
Yeah,
Bandolier. And I load up the gun, and we're just I'm just looking at the two of you wide-eyed.
I think I load the gun and I lift it, and I kind of nuzzle right in next to Mooney. In fact, I put my arm round him. I wrap my arm round him. Yeah. Goddamn, I'm sorry, Ed, but you'll have to be my eyes.
They're one person.
I level the shotgun.
And then I
hold the shotgun.
Eyes is all I got.
I hold the shotgun up to his eyes so he can see through the sight, and I'm holding the gun.
Right a bit, up a bit,
left.
down a bit, left, up a bit, right a bit.
Adjust for wind speed.
The reverse of the rally. There's a mad image that Carstairs has in his mind where he thinks, maybe I should do what we used to do when you needed to create a screen to defend the QB. And what you have to do is you have to, all 3 of you have to link arms, and you're just a little wall for a brief second, and you can stop almost anything that comes at you when you're like that. And I sort of have this vision in my mind of being able to use my strength and physique, which is still present, and also be able to use my shotgun, and the 3 of us could just kind of start moving. But I don't think I get to do that, because obviously they're moving while we're reloading and all that stuff. And
as the closest guy to you sort of comes round gradually in an arc with this gun levelled, you're not sure if he saw the toss of the shells, but he seems to be gauging where you are potentially.
One of the few places you could hide, right?
You hear a sort of snapping of metal, and you see both the front carts gradually roll, including the pickup truck, and you hear this huge clattering down the cliff, and eventually a sound of a pretty huge explosion at the bottom, followed by another. And you see another couple of guys run around the corner. Sort of topless guys. They all seem to be quite, like, tattooed. Some of them are bald, some of them have sort of patches of hair. And a couple of them sink to their knees. And sort of, it's like they're almost mourning the loss of this pickup. But Seth, in the meantime, has sort of... He's almost, like, buried himself in the sand on this road, like where he was rolling around. It's like he's just been pushing it over himself. And you see him sort of start to rise up like some sort of horrible messiah out of the mud. And he looks fucked, and it's taking him a bit of time. Meanwhile, the other two sort of shouting come round, and they all basically level these guns, and they're walking around towards where you are. So there's 3 guys left. And there's 3 guys left.
Alright.
But they all have these blunderbusses. Danann, would it be acceptable to say that in the moment of the confusion, when the explosion happens, is there only one guy who's on us at that point?
Yeah. So actually, he's the closest. You could attempt something in that moment, for sure. If that's what you're thinking.
So I don't go over to those two in this sort of heroic wrestling final stand, even though it's in my mind. What I do is I look to see if someone's close, and if he's close and then it explodes, I'm going to try and take the shot, I think.
Great. And he's only like 4 or 5 metres from you at this point. He's sort of...
Obviously I'm not aiming, so
it's this one guy.
50% chance.
But even so, yeah.
Best roll of the night, 0-4.
Ooh, nice.
It's another extreme.
Oh, lovely. It's the most, right? It's impaling. So it's 24 damage.
It'll be the maximum, and then you roll on top of that.
As if there's any need.
34... 39.
Yes, you never know.
39 damage.
This guy could be really... Great. So you atomise his head.
Horrific. Utterly horrific.
As you hear these... You see the truck slip off, and you hear these explosions come out. You see him distracted just for a second, still pointing this thing at you. And as he turns back, you see the white of his eyes, and you see his head turn into mist. And his body just goes limp and sort of like rolls chest first like a sort of gummy worm off the side of the cliff.
Ooh, nice, nasty.
And at that point, the other two start running over to where you are, and they start firing at you. And these propellants start hitting the boulders, and you also see Seth getting up. It's not looking good. Do you want to try and break cover or try and fire at them again? Or are you just cowering down? No offence meant by cowering. I just mean, are you hunkering down and are you?
Did Seth not go over the edge with the truck? No,
he was on fire. He climbed out and he was on the floor covering himself in sand. He's still getting up. He looks really badly damaged. But he's still sort of like an old machine moving.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas these other guys with these guns are coming round towards you, and firing pretty consistently. You're hearing these thuds into the rock around you.
I mean, if we're not undercover, I'd rather try and get back behind it. I mean, I was imagining I was sort of firing from behind the rock. So the stuff that's hitting me is that I've fired, and they've basically immediately fired back.
Yeah. So what I'll say, as these two approach you, they've fired off a volley. You've heard a few projectiles hit the rocks around you, so they know where you are. You've atomised one guy. Seth's struggling to get up like a Soviet behemoth. And you hear more shouts from around the wall, and you remember, oh shit, there was also that burnt out truck that was just
that's what I'm worried about.
Behind you the whole time.
Reinforcements.
So it sounds as if a couple of reinforcements might be arriving too. I think, Ed, you're so out of it and so in pain you can't really think straight, but you just want to sleep. And something about just letting go makes you think you might be allowed to sleep. Jack, you realise that they could have killed you already if they'd wanted to. Probably. You're not certain. And Quincy, you, glancing around the rock, see another beanbag shape on the floor, and you realise that they've not actually been firing any live ammunition at you. It's almost as if they've been toying with you. And if they didn't want to kill you, then why would they want to kill you now? But that doesn't necessarily affect the way you react. You might still not trust them, obviously. It's not that they mean you any good, but you're in a situation where you're basically on the verge of being surrounded. So I guess it's a sort of decision as to, do you reckon you can fight your way out? Or do you surrender? Or do you try and run and hope that they keep playing with you? I
think I see Lafitte pick up. Maybe he doesn't pick it up, but maybe I see what he's looking at, and he's looking at this.
Probably a bit too hot to pick up, but there might be a reach towards it, or something. Yeah.
This beanbag, and he sort of looks at it, and I look at it, and there's panic in my eyes, and because I've already had this realization, and I'm thinking like a sportsman, and I go, say maybe we should parlay. Must be something we could get for you boys. Must be something maybe you could do for us. What do you say we talk this over? What do we say Reverend Osteen might be interested in talking this over again? I look insane when I say this. I think the two of you realize that I'm right on the edge of sanity as I'm saying it.
Yeah. Sure, you all probably look slightly insane, but you're maybe on the verge.
And I say in this voice that suddenly sounds...
Ed's just inside out.
My voice suddenly sounds very, very different. And I go...
Hello.
Yeah.
Well then, what do you say? Why don't we parlay, friends?
Character Carstairs.
And I look like I'm about 90 when I say it.
And you hear, as you see two others in the background run around the corner, one of these, the closer ones, turns to the other one and says, well, you giving up your shooter then? If you want to talk? You want to give us that?
And I say to Mooney, I whisper to Mooney, I say,
Tell me when I got a bead between his eyes. Right between his eyes, Mooney. Tell me when and I'll pull the trigger. Up a bit, or left a bit, up a bit, up a bit, up a bit. Down a bit. That's it. That's it. That's it. You got him.
and I squeeze.